Hey everyone, and welcome back to the 9 Frames podcast. It is Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. This is episode 76. I'm Bill Whalen.
And I'm Mike Whalen.
Be sure to catch us as always on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Please follow us on there, subscribe, like, comment, and share if you enjoy the show.
Yeah, we got a lot of news from over the weekend. We didn't have an episode on Monday, so we kind of let it pile up a little bit more for this one. And we got some more.
Yeah, the biggest stories we got here are extensions, but we do have some signings and even a trade to talk about. So yeah, it was an active little bit of MLB news. Can't wait to get into it.
We'll hop right on into it.
And we will get right into the news. We have a couple of big stories to kick it off here. The biggest, in my opinion, we will start with the young stud shortstop Bobby Witt Jr. and the Kansas City Royals are in agreement on an 11-year, $288.7 million contract extension. There's also a 3-year team option after that in 2034, which is crazy to think about
So
already.
far away.
Yeah, that's an $89 million 3-year option, which would make this deal $377 million over 14 years, and he's got a full no-trade clause. Basically, to break that down, Bobby Witt is the Kansas City Royals now.
Yeah, I mean, it's by far the largest contract that the Kansas City Royals have ever given to a single player. And he definitely deserves it because I would say that he's a lock for a top 5 shortstop as of right now, and he borders top 3 with Lindor and Corey Seager.
Yeah, I would agree with you. There are a couple guys up there like Turner. But yeah, this is a guy that what he did last year was filthy. He had 30 home runs and 49 stolen bases. So productive.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of 6 players, including Lindor, with the same year that to have a 30-30 season as a shortstop, so it's incredibly impressive.
There's a reason that the Royals just paid this kid after 2 years of his big league career. He's a .265 career hitter, which was up last year, which means that he's on an upward trend. If he can get that even up to .280, imagine.
And it's really respectable to see another small market team kind of break the mold that has been set for them and spend more money than we've ever seen.
Yeah, they got a couple studs over there, too, with guys like Vinny Pasquantino and MJ Melendez.
You couldn't let Bobby Witt get to free agency.
No, I mean, he's far from it here. He was still 4 years from even being considered a free agent. But to break down his career stats again, .265 in career, 50 home runs in 2 seasons, 176 RBIs, 79 stolen bases, and 117 triples.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of organizations bypassing years of arbitration and just locking in with the guys that they want to make their franchise players, like the Mariners did with Julio Rodriguez, etc. Players like that. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, if you feel that confident that they're going to be good, and there's no reason that Bobby Witt Jr. wouldn't,
you're not going to want them
stick with that.
You're not going to want them to get to free agency anyway. So why wait? Just pay him.
Yeah, I fully agree, and I think this is great to see. I think it's great for baseball. Bobby Witt Jr. belongs with the Royals, and he's going to stick there for a very long time. We'll be watching him in the 2030s still in that uniform.
Congratulations to Bobby Witt Jr. and the Kansas City Royals and their fans, honestly. Great for the fans.
Probably going to be a perennial all-star for years to come, and this year he finished 7th in MVP. We'll see if he can even bump up on that next year.
That's your star player there.
Speaking of star players, and it has been a long time, 13 years to be exact, but we got another extension. Jose Altuve is returning to the Houston Astros on a 5-year, $125 million contract extension to stay with the team until his age 39 season. The Astros even tweeted out he will be an Astro for life. This contract doesn't exactly guarantee that, but I guess the team's motives really do.
It basically does, and I would assume that at the end of the 5-year extension, at 39 years old, if he wanted to play 1 or 2 more years, they would let him.
I fully agree with that. I think there is no reason that he would ever be in another uniform, but for both him and the franchise.
Nor he should. There's no he should be an Astro for life. I mean, the story of them telling him to go home all the way back, and him refusing to stay away, and he's just become an MVP player. For a guy that size, it's never really happened before. I mean, he's had an incredible career as it is, and it's nice to see the Astros reward him with another 5 years.
Yeah, this is a guy I don't think it's crazy at all to say he'll be headed straight to Cooperstown when it's all said and done.
First ballot.
Such an insane career already.
Unless the cheating thing is what holds them up. We don't know because none of those players have gotten close. Now, I mean, Beltran, I guess.
There is no real precedent.
And he's getting votes.
Yeah, there's no real precedent. The thing is, he was a coach, though.
Yeah, but he was still a part of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he lost the Mets managerial job because of it.
That is true. Yeah, we don't know if the severity of...
we don't know how writers are going to go about it.
If the cheating scandal, the sign-stealing scandal is the same at all compared to steroids, because steroids is a death sentence in terms of making it to the...
I don't personally give a shit. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer regardless of that 1 year.
I agree.
I think he was... I mean, the stats are there. They don't lie.
Yeah, I mean, back when that scandal happened, man...
He's going to get to 3,000 hits.
Yeah, definitely. When that scandal happened, I was extremely frustrated, along with basically all of baseball. But, I mean, what he's done in his career around that and in every other year besides that... I mean, I don't know how much of an asterisk you could put on his career, considering...
Yeah, them also winning a second championship without any allegations, they overcame it.
Yeah,
you know, like they won a clean title as well.
To break down Altuve's career numbers, he slashed 307, 364, 471. He's got 2,047 hits, 293 stolen bases, and 209 home runs. He is an 8-time All-Star, 6-time Silver Slugger, 3-time batting champion, a Gold Glover, and an MVP in 2017.
One of the GOATs.
Yep, most definitely.
You could definitely call him one of the GOATs, one of the greatest second basemen to ever play the sport.
And he will be a Houston Astro probably for the rest of his career.
Love it.
Speaking of that, GOATs and staying in your team probably for the rest of your career, Clayton Kershaw returns to the Dodgers here. The sources are saying it's a 1-year deal with a player option for 2025. So Kershaw could share the rotation with Ohtani the year after that.
Yeah, there's another guy, like, I just don't think he should pitch anywhere else. I feel like him pitching in a different uniform would be wrong.
Yeah, he's only turning 36 this year. It's pretty weird. People keep talking like his career is really coming to an end, but 36, you can kind of have a little bit left in you.
Well, it really is going to come down to if he wants to continue to pitch. He doesn't have to. I mean, there's another guy that's even more locked in as a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think Kershaw should be unanimous.
Absolutely.
If he's not unanimous, that's wrong.
He has the most full resume a guy could have. This is a guy where I think it's clear, if you want to break it down, that this generation's best 3 pitchers in no particular order are Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, and Clayton Kershaw.
100%. And honestly, I mean, I know a lot of people will take Justin Verlander, but Kershaw was my guy. I think his prime, dude, it was just insane.
Yeah, doing it all as a lefty that never had the craziest velocity either. It's a really impressive career by the lefty.
He went that 1 year where he went 21-3 with like a upper 1 ERA. It was so insane.
Pretty wild to watch. Some of the most fun you could have watching baseball, because I love a good pitcher's duel, and he had so many back in the day with guys like Lincecum and Bumgarner on the Giants there.
I mean, even this last season, his first start of the year, he goes 7 perfect and gets pulled. I mean, the guy is he had a great year this year.
Such a stud.
He belongs in Dodger blue, and I'm glad they took care of it again.
He is entering his 17th big league season here, all with the Dodgers, as you said, though he isn't expected to return until sometime next summer, so going to miss about half the season. He got surgery on his left shoulder following the Dodgers' loss to the D-backs in the NLDS last year.
The guy has a lifetime ERA of a 2.48.
Yeah, it's
like, just
insane.
think about how crazy that is.
Like we did with Altuve, I'll just quickly break down his resume because it's so impressive as well. He's a former NL MVP, a 10-time All-Star, a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, and a World Series champion in 2020 there. And as you said, lifetime ERA of 2.48. What a filthy career.
Sub 2.5, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I think it would be embarrassing to be a voter and not give this guy your vote to go into Cooperstown, because there is no sign of cheating or anything like that in his career. This is a clean slate, and it's one of the best careers you could look at. This is a Baseball Reference page with no bad marks.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. I think he should, like I said, be first ballot unanimous.
Yeah, I would agree fully. We will get into the smaller moves now, which we will start with some relievers. So many relievers moving around in this market now. Caleb Ferguson will be going to the Yankees from the Dodgers for lefty reliever Matt Gage and low-level pitching prospect Christian Zazueta Jr. The Dodgers also signed Ryan Brazier immediately after this trade to take Ferguson's roster spot on a 2-year, $9 million contract.
The Dodgers have been so active, man. It's crazy to see. I don't think we've ever seen a team be this active.
Now, they're like every other move you have to say the Dodgers name
It's crazy. I don't even know how they have this much room for players.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, I guess it's a deep organization, and some of these guys will be going down to AAA up and down all year. This is why this organization is so deep and wins on such a consistent basis.
Yeah, I mean, look at that rotation. I mean, look at the lineup. Like, why wouldn't you want to be a Dodger right now if you could?
I definitely agree. And breaking it down here, the Yankees will be getting Caleb Ferguson, who is a career 343 pitcher in 5 years, who also had a 343 on the dot last year. So you kind of know what you're getting with this guy. That's a solid number to get. The Yankees will take that from a lefty.
Yeah, it's going to be their replacement for Wandy Peralta, who moved on to the Padres, as we just reported. Like, I think it was the last episode, maybe 2 ago.
I do think it was last episode as well, yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be their lefty that takes the spot, and it's a great fill-in.
I think that is a really good replacement, yeah. The Dodgers, what they get here when they pick up Brazier, who they pitched for a lot for them last year as well. He pitched 59 2/3 last year, 21 innings for Boston, where he had a 7.29 ERA, and then 38 2/3 for the Dodgers, where he had a .70.
There you go.
Yeah, he's a career 388 guy, so it's not too crazy different from Caleb Ferguson, but he is a righty. So, I mean, there's not that lefty edge there.
The Yanks have had a nice offseason.
I agree. They have made these small moves that you got to make to stay competitive because their roster is really solid.
As well as the big move in Juan Soto.
Oh, yeah.
So they've done it all that the fan base could ask for. I mean,
can't wait to see how far he hits the ball from that into that short porch.
I hope he doesn't get too comfortable in Yankee pinstripes and signs there before hitting free agency.
We will see. We will see. The Yankees had a very active offseason. Speaking of active, the Brewers have been very active the last couple of weeks. It's been a weird series of moves, and this is another one here. Right-hander Jacob Junis has a deal with the Brewers pending a physical. 1 year, $7 million deal with a mutual option for 2025. He signed as a starter here, but he's been mostly a reliever and then getting some spot starts for the Giants the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. I haven't really thought of him as a starter since his Royals days a couple years ago, so I didn't even really know that the Brewers were signing him to be a starter. That's interesting.
There's been a couple relievers this year where they're just getting picked up.
Jordan Hicks.
Yeah, they're getting picked up to be starters, and then as soon as that deal comes out, you really scratch your head and you go, why do you want that? I don't know if that's what's going to work for you. He's coming off a career year here, Jacob Junis, and he barely started any games.
At least this is a 1 year, $7 million with a mutual option. I mean, Hicks was a 4 year, $44 million to be a starter, and he throws really hard and everything. I don't know how that one's going to work out. Junis has been a starter in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a better reliever than starter.
It seems that way because he did have the best numbers of his career last year where he started 4 games and relieved in 36 of them. He had a 3.87 ERA in 86 innings pitched, and he even had a save there.
Yeah, I always root for the guys that are trying to change from reliever to starter because that can literally change your career. If you become a good starter, you can make yourself a lot of money. It goes the other way too, like we saw with Wade Davis.
Yeah,
Remember?
Becoming a filthy
He was
closer.
a starter. He goes into the pen, and he just became an absolute filthy closer, and he got his money.
Yeah, it's all about finding the most value that you provide to the team as a player, and Jacob Junis is going to see if the starter role is where he helps the Brewers the most. The Brewers do need a starter because they did just trade away former Cy Young Corbin Burns. We talked about that last episode.
Yeah, and they're also going to be without Brandon Woodruff, who they released. So, I mean, they got 2 spots to fill from last year.
And those are 2 pretty big spots, man.
Definitely. We were talking about them as one of the better rotations in baseball, the top 3, with those 2 guys and Freddie Peralta, and now it's just Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, we'll see if Junis can find that consistency behind Freddie,
Best
which
of
I'm
luck.
sure that's where he'll be.
Best of luck.
And now we will go into the bats here. Carlos Santana goes to Minnesota on a 1-year deal worth $5.25 million. He played for Pittsburgh and Milwaukee last season. He batted .240 with 23 homers and 86 RBIs in 146 games. He's still doing it, man.
Yeah, genuinely one of my favorite players, that part of my era growing up. I think he's been awesome. He came up, he was a catcher at first, moved to third base, now he's over at first base. He's been a journeyman, and he provides something to every team he's been with.
Yeah, he's a guy who's played in the NL Central and the AL Central for the majority of his career, and he's sticking there now.
Yeah, he went back to the AL. Now he was an Indian back in the day, and now he's going to be a Twin.
I said he was a .240 hitter last year. He's a .242 career hitter with 301 homers, 1,011 RBI, and 1,930 games. He's still a very productive bat. Minnesota could use that.
Great on base guy too. He draws a lot of walks, so I really like the signing. I've always been a fan of Carlos Santana.
I think it's a great signing as well, and I wish him the best. I look forward to watching him. He's really fun to watch at the plate. Got a great eye.
Yeah, I mean, I remember last year he had some big hits for Milwaukee when coming over from Pittsburgh after that trade. I mean,
that was a big trade for them, and it's part of the reason that they were able to shore up that Central title.
Absolutely. Carlos Santana is a nice vet, and he's also a great veteran in the locker room. Can't forget about that.
Very true, very true. Back to the relievers now, which, I mean, you can't get away from them in this offseason. There were so many on the market, and this is another one coming off. The Tampa Bay Rays will be adding Phil Matone. He's leaving the Astros on a 1-year, $6.5 million deal for 2024 with an option for 2025. Should the team exercise the option, he would make another $7.75. That makes a total 14 for 2 years.
Have you seen anywhere if they signed him to be their closer this year?
No, I haven't seen, because Pete Fairbanks was filthy last year.
So this is the eighth inning guy. I mean, I'm going to say this right now. Phil Matone, and I think he's going to have a filthy year on the Rays.
Oh, yeah. He just had a really nice year for Houston, and people turn their careers around for the Rays. He doesn't have to.
If the Rays are taking a shot on you for a 1-year deal, they think you've got some potential there with an option. I mean, he's going to have a good year, I promise.
He's coming off a nice year with Houston, as I said. He had a 3 ERA with 74 strikeouts, only 25 walks in 66 innings pitched. Really nice bullpen arm. Man, Houston was full of those nice bullpen arms, and this is another one leaving.
Houston's been notorious for building good bullpens, so we'll see how they pivot after losing Neris and now Phil Matone.
I mean, we saw that they did also sign Josh Hader, though, so
yeah,
I guess that the winning machine keeps winning.
And also, I feel like the reliever market has been flowing a lot more since Josh Hader signed. Like I think I said back then.
It's probably what happened that was holding up the market so much, yeah. But now that he's off, yeah, they're coming fast and furious. He's a career .425 guy, so yeah, he was nice last year, and people go to their careers to get those numbers down. They go to the Rays to get their numbers down there, but he doesn't really need to at this point, coming off a 3. I bet he's going to have a filthy year. I think that's a good call.
I'd be shocked if he's not in the mid-2s, maybe lower half of 2s this year. I mean, look at what the Rays did with guys like Andrew Kittredge. Like, he's been an all-star.
Yeah, I mean, they turned Charlie Morton's career around in his mid-30s.
They do it all the time. They're an unbelievable organization for fixing pitchers.
Yeah, really impressive stuff from the Rays pitching factory, and we'll see what happens with Phil Matone next year, because maybe he does get that closing role. We don't know. Pete Fairbanks had a really solid season, but this guy has a great arm.
And I said the Rays are great at fixing pitchers, but Phil Matone does not need to be fixed, so they're just going to help him tweak a couple things, and he's just going to improve, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you would think the way that the Rays operate, it's hard to see it going any other way.
Very nice signing.
The next deal we'll talk about here, and the last deal that we will talk about for this episode, are our New York Mets signing Shintaro Fujinami to a 1-year, $3.35 million deal. Possible $850K in incentives. That would take it to about $4 million.
I like it for a couple reasons. He throws 101. Like, he throws extremely hard. His numbers are a little bit misleading because he came over as a starter for Oakland at first and just got bombed out the gate. When he moved over to Baltimore after the trade, he was much, much better. I mean, he still struggled a bit, but it's a nice project to take because I think Kodai Senga did want another Japanese teammate in Yamamoto or somebody else. And this is a guy that they can go out and, I mean, the Mets are building a decent bullpen, in my opinion. So he could be a piece.
As we said last episode, I'm not sure if we confirmed that it was official, but Jake Diekman coming in, the nice lefty. Another high-velocity guy as well. So, yeah, the back end of that Mets bullpen is going to be hard to hit just based off the fact that they're all throwing nearly 100.
And Sugar's back.
That's the scariest part of it.
The trumpets are back.
Yeah, it's going to be a scary back end of the bullpen, I think. So I hope that the middle of it can handle that, and I think that's exactly where Shintaro Fujinami comes in. He's coming off a 7.18 ERA in 64 games. He didn't start too much. It was mostly relief, but he averaged 98.4 miles per hour. What he's really got to work on is the walks, and if he can do that, I think he's a solid arm. He walked 45 batters in 79 innings pitched. This is a fine signing. I think with the names that we've said in this episode and the money that they've gotten, I think maybe the Mets could have done a little better.
Yeah.
But I don't hate that, especially when you bring the context in. I actually hadn't thought of it until now, the fact that Kodai wanted another Japanese teammate. He did say that. He certainly said that. So if this is that for him and it makes him happy, and this guy's got that kind of stuff, I'm happy with it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're never going to hurt. I mean, you could definitely. Like you said, he needs to limit the walks 100%. But having a fastball in the 97th percentile, he could be a weapon in the pen.
Yeah, never hate to add a guy like that. We'll see what he can do next year, and Mets pinstripes should be fun. This was a fun episode as well, talking about a couple Hall of Famers coming back. We'll see if Bobby Witt Jr. can make himself a Hall of Fame career. He's got a good start there.
I think he's off to a great start with that nearly 30-50 season that he just had at 23 years old.
Yeah, the days are ticking down. Pitchers and catchers are coming so soon, and man, I cannot wait to watch some baseball.
Yeah, I think it's 50 days away as of today, so we're getting close.
It's getting exciting, folks. Can't wait. Stay tuned. Thank you to everybody for watching and listening wherever you do. That was episode 76 of the 9 Frames podcast. It is Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. I have been Bill Whalen.
And I've been Mike Whalen.
Be sure to catch us, as always, on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Please follow us on there. Subscribe, like, comment, and share if you enjoy the show.
Yeah, like you said before, it's getting exciting. I mean, we're less than 2 months away now. 50 days, man.
Yeah, I feel like a broken record, but I'm still waiting for specifically Blake Snell and Cody Bellinger here to come off the board. I don't know why they are still on there.
Those are the 2 biggest names remaining.
Not even hearing a crazy amount of news on them at this point, so keep your eye on that one. Should be exciting to see what threads they end up in next year. I can't wait to watch some baseball, man.
Yeah, really crazy to think that the reigning National League Cy Young Award winner is still sitting out there with just 50 days until opening day. But we've seen that the offseason could take a little bit of time to develop sometimes for some guys, and I guess his market isn't what he thought it was.
Yeah, sometimes moves happen in, a lot. It's like a rush, and I kind of hope that's what happens this week.
Yeah, we'll see.